If you're over 60 and feel more tired, foggy, or off balance in the morning than you used to, you're not alone, and you need to hear this. Maybe your mornings start with a headache, a stiff neck, or just that sluggish feeling that takes hours to shake off. Maybe you've blamed it on aging or bad sleep. But what if it's not just age? It's your routine. You might be thinking, I eat right, I take my meds, I even walk when I can, so why do I still feel off in the mornings? That's the trap most people fall into. It's easy to overlook the seemingly small things, those quiet automatic choices you make as soon as your feet hit the floor. But the truth is, your morning routine may be silently setting you up for one of the most life-altering medical events a person can experience: a stroke. Many seniors unknowingly start their day with habits that increase their stroke risk, even if they eat well, stay active, or take all the right medications. The danger lies not in the big, obvious health decisions, but in the small, invisible ones you make within minutes of waking up. Here's a fact. According to the American Heart Association, nearly 80% of strokes in older adults could be preventable with lifestyle changes, especially in the first hour after waking up. That's right. The first 30 minutes of your day can set the stage for better brain health, or silently push you closer to a stroke. Think about it. When was the last time you questioned what you do right after waking up? Most of these habits seem normal. They're things you might have done for decades without ever thinking twice. But new research shows that even minor changes, like how you sit up in bed, what you drink first, or how quickly you move, can either protect or pressure your heart and brain. And the stroke statistics are serious. Every 40 seconds, someone in the US has a stroke. Every 3.5 minutes, someone dies from one. For older adults, the risk is higher, but so is the power of prevention. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to get smarter about your mornings. In today's video, we're diving into 5 overlooked morning mistakes that could quietly raise your risk of stroke. You'll learn which habits to change, the science behind why they matter, and simple things you can do tomorrow to protect your brain. We'll even share the most important tip that experts say can immediately lower risk without needing another prescription. Before we dive in, comment below. What's the first thing you do in the morning? Is it coffee, checking your phone, stretching? We'd love to hear your routine and what you might consider changing after watching this. And if you find this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more smart, research-backed health tips for adults over 60. Now let's get into it. Number 5 is standing up too quickly. When you wake up and leap out of bed, it feels productive. But for seniors, this sudden shift can create a dangerous drop and spike in blood pressure known as orthostatic hypotension. The body needs time to adjust after hours of lying down. Skipping this transition phase can temporarily reduce blood flow to your brain, leading to dizziness or even fainting. In fact, research has shown that the body's natural circadian rhythm already causes a temporary spike in blood pressure upon waking. Adding a sudden movement can exaggerate this response, increasing stress on arteries and potentially triggering an ischemic stroke, especially in individuals over 60 who often have reduced baroreflex sensitivity, the body's ability to stabilize blood pressure. These fluctuations can be more severe. The transition from lying down to standing involves complex shifts in blood flow, and in older adults, this response is often slower and less efficient. When blood pressure drops too quickly or spikes too suddenly, it can create turbulence in the arteries, particularly in the carotid arteries that deliver blood to the brain. This turbulence can dislodge plaque or contribute to clot formation. This is why many falls in the elderly happen within the first 10 minutes of waking up. And it's not just the fall that's dangerous, it's what it represents: unstable circulation and rising stroke risk. Even more concerning, this habit is often compounded by other morning actions. If you stand up too quickly and then walk straight to the kitchen for coffee, you're stacking 2 stroke-promoting factors: unstable blood pressure and dehydration. It's a silent 1-2 punch that your body, especially your brain and heart, may not be equipped to handle. Over time, this can take a toll. Consistent early morning blood pressure spikes increase wear and tear on your arteries, promote micro-damage to vessel walls, and heighten the risk of clots forming where the arteries are already weak. These aren't just small changes. They are cumulative threats that increase the likelihood of a life-altering stroke. Here's what to do instead. Lie still for 1 minute after waking. Flex your ankles and wrists. Breathe deeply and slowly roll to your side. Then sit up and let your legs hang off the bed. After 30 seconds, stand slowly. This simple routine helps stabilize blood pressure and protects your brain from sudden shock. Take your time. Give your body the transition it needs. Think of this first minute as a daily insurance policy for your brain. Number 4 is skipping water first thing. Overnight, your body loses water through breathing, sweating, and urine production. When you wake up, you're mildly dehydrated, whether you feel it or not. Dehydration thickens your blood and limits oxygen transport to your brain. A study published in the European Journal of Neurology found that dehydration is a common risk factor in acute ischemic stroke, particularly among older adults. When you're dehydrated, your blood volume decreases, making your heart work harder to pump oxygen to your brain and other organs. This thickened blood is also more likely to clot, one of the direct pathways to a stroke. What's worse, the natural cortisol spike that occurs in the morning already increases your cardiovascular load. If you layer dehydration on top of this, you create the perfect storm: reduced fluid, thicker blood, constricted arteries, and higher pressure. This is especially risky for older adults who already have stiffer arteries and may take medications that increase fluid loss, such as diuretics or blood pressure pills. Some seniors also have a diminished thirst response, which means they might not even feel the dehydration happening, yet the risks are still there, silently building up over time. In fact, many stroke patients report not feeling any warning signs before the event, dehydration included. The brain doesn't have pain receptors, so when oxygen is limited or blood flow is reduced, there may be no early signal. That's why hydration isn't just a lifestyle suggestion. It's a protective measure. And if your first drink is coffee or tea, both diuretics, you're making the problem worse without realizing it. Coffee pulls more water out of your system, which is the opposite of what your body needs first thing in the morning. Energy drinks and fruit juices with high sugar levels can also create a dehydrating effect through osmotic imbalance. Start your morning with a full glass of room temperature water before any other drink. It helps thin your blood, rehydrates your organs, and jump-starts circulation. If plain water is tough for you, try adding a squeeze of lemon for flavor and natural detox support, or a pinch of sea salt to replenish essential minerals. You could even infuse it with cucumber or mint the night before to make it more enjoyable. You might think skipping water once or twice isn't a big deal, but stroke risk compounds over time. It's the repetition of poor hydration, day after day, that silently increases your vulnerability. This one small act, done consistently each morning, is one of the easiest and most effective ways to reduce your stroke risk. Your brain and heart will thank you for it every single day. Number 3 is sugary or overloaded coffee drinks. Coffee by itself isn't the enemy. In fact, research has shown that moderate coffee consumption can have protective effects for the heart and brain, especially when it's consumed without sugar and additives. But for many seniors, coffee is no longer just coffee. It's become a sugar-laden morning dessert in disguise. The moment you add flavored creamers, syrups, whipped toppings, or excessive sugar to your morning coffee, you change its effect on your body entirely. Instead of giving you a gentle energy boost, it delivers a spike in blood sugar, a jolt to your nervous system, and constriction of blood vessels, all of which can raise your stroke risk. Here's why that's dangerous. When you're over 60, your arteries tend to be stiffer and less elastic. High amounts of sugar and caffeine together cause vasoconstriction, meaning your blood vessels tighten. This forces your heart to pump harder and faster. If your blood is already thick from dehydration and your vessels are narrow or inflamed, you've got the perfect conditions for a blood clot to form. To make matters worse, many popular store-bought or drive-through coffee beverages contain high levels of sodium, trans fats, and chemical emulsifiers. These hidden ingredients increase inflammation, raise blood pressure, and strain your circulatory system. And yet, because it's a coffee drink to many worries, many seniors think it's a harmless habit. Let's be clear. It's not just about calories. It's about the acute physiological response your body goes through after consuming these types of drinks. Multiple studies have shown that high glycemic beverages, like sweetened lattes or caramel macchiatos, can impair endothelial function, which is your blood vessels' ability to expand and contract. When this function is impaired, stroke risk rises sharply. Also, the timing matters. Having these drinks first thing in the morning, before any food or water, means the impact is even more concentrated. Your system is empty, your blood sugar is low, and your body is craving hydration. Instead, it gets a sugar bomb, a caffeine rush, and a dose of artery stress. If you enjoy coffee, you don't have to give it up, but you do have to make it smarter. Stick with black coffee or try unsweetened options with a dash of cinnamon, which actually has anti-inflammatory effects. Almond milk or oat milk can be good alternatives to dairy creamers, especially those loaded with artificial sweeteners. And whatever you do, drink water first. Rehydrate before you caffeinate. Your brain and heart will be in a better position to handle the stimulation. By simply modifying how you drink your coffee, you can dramatically reduce your morning stroke risk and still enjoy the ritual you love. Okay, now let's do a quick recap. So far, we've talked about 3 habits that many people over 60 do without thinking, but that could silently raise the risk of stroke. We've looked at how jumping out of bed too fast can destabilize your blood pressure and strain your arteries. We covered how skipping that first glass of water can thicken your blood and leave your brain underhydrated. And we unpacked how that seemingly innocent, sweet coffee could actually spike your blood sugar and stress your circulatory system. Each of these habits may seem small on their own, but together they create a dangerous internal environment, especially during the most critical window of the day, your first hour awake. Your body is already shifting gears in the morning, trying to stabilize blood pressure, circulate oxygen, and reboot after sleep. These habits make that process harder, not easier. And now, we're heading into the 2 most overlooked and most important morning habits. These are the ones that can quietly protect your brain every single day, or, if ignored, push you closer to a health crisis. Before we continue, take a moment to leave a comment below. Which of these first 3 habits do you catch yourself doing? No judgment. We've all been there. Sharing your experience helps others reflect on theirs, too. And if you're finding value here, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. It tells the algorithm this is content worth spreading to others who need it. Let's move on to the next 2 stroke prevention priorities you should never ignore. Number 2 is holding your urine too long. It might seem harmless or even responsible to wait a bit before heading to the bathroom in the morning, especially if you're focused on getting dressed or prepping breakfast first. But holding your urine after waking up is far more dangerous than most people realize, especially for seniors. When your bladder becomes too full, it stretches and activates the sympathetic nervous system, your body's built-in stress response. This triggers a release of stress hormones like adrenaline, which in turn elevate your heart rate and blood pressure. If you're over 60, this sudden cardiovascular stimulation can be risky. The blood vessels leading to your brain may already be narrowed due to age or underlying conditions, and the added pressure could be the final straw. There's also a link between bladder pressure and the vagus nerve, a major nerve involved in regulating heart rate and blood pressure. In some cases, holding your urine for too long can cause abrupt changes in vagal tone, leading to either spikes or drops in blood pressure, dizziness, or fainting. For someone already at risk of stroke, this fluctuation adds another dangerous layer. Plus, your body is already in a vulnerable state first thing in the morning. Blood pressure tends to rise sharply during the early hours due to natural hormonal rhythms. If you delay urination, you're essentially stacking a pressure trigger on top of an already high-pressure moment. For men especially, an enlarged prostate can add another challenge. If urination is delayed, the bladder may need to contract harder to push out the urine through a restricted urethra. This further elevates blood pressure and increases intra-abdominal strain, yet another form of stress on an aging cardiovascular system. On a more practical level, a full bladder can make it harder to relax. The pressure on your lower abdomen activates your body's alertness systems, which may increase morning anxiety, tension, and even headaches, factors that aren't often linked directly to stroke risk, but certainly contribute to daily stress loads. So what should you do? Make going to the bathroom one of the first things you do each morning. Don't delay it in favor of other routines. If needed, place a gentle reminder on your nightstand or bathroom mirror. It may feel like a small act, but this one simple step helps regulate blood pressure, reduce vascular stress, and support healthier circulation right when your body needs it most. In short, relieving your bladder promptly is a small, almost effortless morning habit that supports brain and heart health. Don't ignore it. Make it part of your stroke prevention strategy every single day. Number 1 is staying sedentary. One of the most overlooked yet crucial aspects of a healthy morning routine is movement. Unfortunately, many seniors wake up, sit in a recliner, scroll through their phones, or turn on the TV, and that pattern continues for hours. The lack of movement first thing in the morning can silently raise your risk of stroke in ways you may not expect. Here's why. After a long period of sleep, your blood has a natural tendency to thicken. Circulation slows, especially in the extremities. If you remain sedentary, your body doesn't get the circulation boost it needs to redistribute oxygen and nutrients to your organs, especially your brain. Without movement, your blood vessels don't expand properly. This can lead to sluggish circulation, blood pooling in the legs, and an increased chance of clot formation, especially if you have other risk factors like atrial fibrillation, diabetes, or high cholesterol. All of these factors contribute directly to stroke risk. It's also important to understand how your body uses muscle contractions to help pump blood. When you walk or stretch, your muscles contract and help squeeze blood through your veins back toward the heart and brain. This helps regulate blood pressure and oxygen delivery. Without that muscle activity, your body stays in a low energy, low circulation state, exactly what you want to avoid first thing in the morning. Moreover, studies have shown that just 5 minutes of gentle movement can help reduce inflammatory markers in the blood, improve glucose uptake, and kickstart cardiovascular function. It doesn't have to be a full workout. In fact, it shouldn't be. It should be light, purposeful, and consistent. Try this. As soon as you've finished hydrating and using the restroom, do 5 to 10 minutes of light movement. That could include simple stretches, shoulder rolls, neck tilts, leg swings, or even walking laps around your kitchen. If you prefer guidance, follow a gentle chair yoga or Tai Chi video designed for seniors. These practices improve balance, lower stress, and promote stable blood pressure, all protective factors against stroke. Also, don't underestimate the power of fresh air. Stepping outside for a few minutes in the morning helps reset your circadian rhythm, boosts vitamin D production, and improves mood, all of which support overall heart and brain health. Movement combined with natural light exposure is a powerful natural stimulant that helps your vascular and nervous systems work better together. Lastly, making movement a consistent part of your morning routine helps reinforce discipline. The brain loves habits. The more you do something automatically, especially something healthy, the more your body adapts to expect it, and the easier it becomes. Over time, this adds up to real results: lower blood pressure, better circulation, and a reduced risk of clot-related strokes. So tomorrow, before you settle into your favorite chair or reach for the remote, ask yourself, have I moved yet today? Your heart, your brain, and your future self will thank you. So let's take a step back and look at what we've covered today. We started with the danger of standing up too quickly, a simple motion that can send your blood pressure into chaos if you're not careful. Then we moved into the importance of hydrating first thing in the morning, not just for your organs, but to literally thin your blood and improve circulation. We talked about how overloaded coffee drinks, those seemingly innocent morning treats, can trigger inflammation and blood vessel constriction. Then we tackled the often ignored issue of delaying your first bathroom visit and how it silently elevates your blood pressure. And finally, we dove into why skipping morning movement isn't just lazy, it's biologically risky. These aren't just habits, they're opportunities, small windows where the right action can lower your risk of stroke and give you a stronger, sharper future. Your body is incredibly responsive to daily patterns, especially the ones that happen right after waking up. And the good news is that you now have a roadmap to make better choices. Choices that don't require a prescription, a doctor's visit, or any expensive equipment. Just awareness, intention, and consistency. If you made it this far, tell us in the comments. What's one change you're going to make starting tomorrow morning? Are you going to hydrate first, stand up slower, stretch before breakfast? Whatever it is, write it down. We read every comment, and your experience could be the reminder or motivation someone else needs today. And if this video brought value to your day, if it made you stop and think, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the Wellness Vault. This channel is all about empowering smart health choices, especially for those of us who want to stay sharp, strong, and independent well into our later years. We dive deep into topics like longevity, pain prevention, brain health, and natural remedies, always grounded in science and built to help you thrive. Also, be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. We release new content every week that's designed to be both actionable and inspiring. And if you know someone over 60 who might be unknowingly making these morning mistakes, do them a favor. Send them this video. It could literally change their life. Thank you for watching. You're not just a viewer, you're part of a community that's growing smarter, healthier, and more intentional every day. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and start your mornings smarter. We'll see you in the next video here on the Wellness Vault.